everybody. Hello.
Where are we?
And welcome to the
talk
first ever live Discourse in Magic. How you guys doing today?
Yep. I'm excited.
I'm excited. You're excited?
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah?
I have a lav mic. I've never used one before. It's a big deal for me.
Well, then today's a big day, I think.
Yeah. Also, the first live thing is cool.
Yeah.
too.
Oh,
Is this
that's-
actually live?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. There's actually there you go.
the
Facebook Live. Right
Facebook
over
Live right now.
Can we swear?
Yeah, you can
Yeah.
swear. Yeah, I don't mind.
Fuck.
There we go.
Oh, really good.
Got him. Okay.
Oh boy, it's starting.
So,
how you
so
consume.
we're here with three very, very amazing special guests. Two of them have been on episodes before, and one is a freshie, a Discourse in Magic version. That's you. So I'll let you know who they all are, and then I'll tell you a little bit about them. We have Wes Barker, Eric Leclerc, and Chris Ramsay. Give it up.
Yeah. Make him clap some more. Make him clap some more.
Feels so good.
Yeah. And clap again!
So combined,
abusing.
these three guys have millions of views on television and the internet, and separately,
Gotta be 100.
these guys have
Hundreds of
millions of
thousands.
views
Yeah.
on television and on the internet. So
Yeah,
they are, yeah,
That's crazy. That's a crazy fact.
That's
True.
weird, right? Yeah.
pretty
Make
crazy.
And
Magic.
us
Yeah.
too. We have millions and millions.
Yeah, millions
listens
of
to our
people,
podcast,
yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So 100%.
If you multiply,
Yeah.
So we're here, and the theme of the month this month is friends, fans, and followers, which I think is perfect because you guys are friends, you guys have a lot of fans and followers, and you're here for some cool stuff. So just to find out, Chris, what are you doing in Toronto this weekend, aside from this amazing podcast?
I'm in Toronto.
Oh my goodness.
Toronto?
Yeah,
Yeah, I think so.
I woke up in a fever sweat. Okay.
Literally.
I was here for a YouTube event. I hit my 100K recently on YouTube, and thanks.
Cheers some more.
Yeah.
That's crazy, man. Good for you.
Thank you. These guys are really close behind as well. You guys are getting there.
One's closer than the other. That's fine.
We heard that there was a plaque involved. So
Yeah.
I want that play button. I was like, that's the new goal.
Yeah,
2017. I want that on my wall.
I'm gonna make it into a belt buckle when I get there.
Funny because I know what it's like.
And Wes, what are you doing in Toronto aside from this?
I have a college tour, so I'm doing 5 college shows. Yeah, so and they vary all of the horrible parts of Ontario.
And Eric, you circumcised? Or?
Okay, well, it's a long story. I don't have time to get into it right now.
The hard-hitting questions for Eric.
Yeah, and I just came down to TO just to chill with, mostly Chris.
Us?
And
Us? Just for us?
learn, man. I feel rejuvenated. I feel inspired after this weekend.
Like a youngster.
Yeah,
All right.
Awesome. So
that's
a
it.
circumcised.
well, thank you for
Thank
coming.
you guys
I
for
hope you
coming
enjoyed
out.
So one of the things that I thought that we would talk about is creating content. And just to break it down very quickly, Chris is doing quite a bit of vlogging now, having to do with magic and the whole YouTube world. Eric Leclerc did a project a couple years back,
Yeah.
3 years ago, something like that.
7 or-
6, yeah.
Oh my
Okay.
God.
Really?
Yeah.
Called
Whoa,
Project
you're old as fuck.
365,
Oh my
where
God.
he uploaded a YouTube video every single day doing magic. And Wes has done a ton of really creative stuff on YouTube. Particularly, he's put up the footage from his own shows, which has racked up tons of views, and it's a really awesome thing happening. So
The other thing that you want to, if you're talking about like creating content, Eric does a TV show for
TV.
YT. Show,
Oh, yeah.
right? And then
Yeah.
it's 265 tricks we had to come up with for this 20 episode thing.
Not one card trick.
Not
and,
one
and
card
what's- and
trick.
the show's called Trick.
It's called Tricked. So he was the face of the show.
I won.
I was
won.
I was the
He's under the
consultant.
counter.
Basically, it came down to me or Eric to be the host of the show, and then we both went and we
no,
both
for
you
sure,
know
for sure.
don't.
I was just trying to make it.
I was about to make it feel good for you, but now I'm going to
No,
take it the other
no,
way.
sorry.
So no, we had to both like go separately with our camera crew. We'd have like an 8-hour day. We'd film, and then they edit together and they submitted it to the network and said, pick one, and they picked Eric, despite the fact that it films in Vancouver, where I'm from, and they had to pay an extra $3,000 a month to put Eric up in this.
Fly me 3 times.
So
once I
yeah, they liked him more, but they also liked him about $40,000 more.
Yeah, and they were willing to waive the accent as well. Yeah, we can live with that.
Yeah,
That's so true.
Oh, for sure. We had to cut so many times
After
because
1 month, so after 1 month of filming that show, they were like, "Cut, Eric. It's not apartment. It's apartment or whatever." You know? Like, okay, whatever. Okay, I'll do it again. Apartment.
Apartment.
Apartment. I had to study in my apartment.
I
And
in
then
my
after a month of
apartment.
all these cuts, the director was like, "You know what? This is fucking ridiculous." Sorry.
No, you're
Yeah,
allowed.
you can
It's fine.
swear. We've been there.
It's like,
We've been there.
this is ridiculous. We chose him. He had an accent in the interview. That's him. No more fucking. So now I have like, I don't many spoken the trick. You pick a, do that. And then boom, the accent is still
took
there.
it.
So,
Solidified.
we're talking about this?
So what makes great magic content on video? Whether it's TV or YouTube, what makes great content?
my experience, nudity.
Fair.
Yeah.
That's for real.
For real. That's
Clickbait. Like 100% click. I'm all about it.
Yeah.
No, I think great well, clickbait's actually like, people call it clickbait, but it's debatable. Like, you want to show them the best part of the video, right? And off the bat, and you want to grab their attention as soon as you can because, like, it's a very small window that you have. And if you beat all those other thumbnails and they see you, they will like the video. Like, unless there's
And
like a huge distortion.
People will call it clickbait, but clickbait to me is more when you're like kind of lying
when
about what
you're
it is,
lying,
right? And then you
Or
click on it,
just
you go, "This
good
isn't anything."
titling.
Yeah.
But if it's like just the title, what it is, and a sweet
it
thumbnail,
happens to be,
And it's
No, I agree.
literally the naked magic thing. I think out of all our videos, like how many views? Like,
that one's 25 million, maybe.
25
Yeah.
million views.
Oh my
Naked
goodness.
magic.
Literally 3 times more than my whole channel.
Crazy.
Yeah.
That's funny.
And just naked. So I guess sex sells. I guess
Naked magic.
But no, like what makes good content, I think you have to be aware, like a lot of magicians stay within the realm of magicians and they perform unconsciously or subconsciously for magicians and like with these little nuances that only a magician will pick up on, which is cool in our industry and stuff. It's, it's masturbation for us,
Yeah.
really. It's just
Yeah.
like, we're like, oh, that's fucking sick method, bro. But like, in all honesty, you got to cater to lay people. You got to cater to a higher shareability on the video, right? So you can stay within your niche, but every now and then you got to break out and come up with like, some titties and magic.
We always joke about this thing happening on Instagram, which we call crotch magic, which is full channels of people just doing card tricks over
Guilty.
their crotch.
I find those videos like really hard to masturbate to. It's like, I can't do it. I just can't.
I get the weirdest boner watching those
It's
videos.
so weird. It's
Is
so
that
weird.
because you are or are not circumcised?
I swear before this interview's over, I'm taking it out.
For any of you,
Please.
for any of you
Dodging the
cardistry
question.
guys out there, I want to see some cardistry. No pants, but everything strategically moving,
Yeah.
so you're always covering.
Naked,
That's what I want to
naked
see.
cardistry.
You want some viral video? Do that. Yeah, right? Because
idea.
if you get
It's
me to
already
do this
happening.
video, it's
It's
just going to
already
be doing
in the
double undercuts across my dick. So someone who knows what they're doing, do that, please.
Finally, a reason to learn cardistry.
Mayhew, you're an audience member. Come on.
He's doing good.
One of the things that I
Shut up,
wanted
Chris.
to that I wanted to ask about is about managing the constant creation of content. So I know that it became a challenge, especially near the end of Project 365, to just be churning out a video every single day. And I know that vlogging obviously takes a lot of effort. And I know that whatever the heck it is that you do is probably... So I'm just wondering, what's it like? Do you get into the swing of it, or is it just basically suck for 365 days long?
Fucking
and-
sucks.
I had enough by day 45. I was like done, and I just stuck with it. I had lists. Sometimes I just like perfect examples. One day I was on vacation in Dominican, and like it or not, you got to film a video, sit in the lobby for 4 hours, send it to the editor. Like, it ruled my life. And at one point, I'm in Dominican, I'm in the ocean, and the Dominican said, "Oh, you're a magician." I'm like, "Fuck, I'm in a bathing suit, I have nothing, and I do this." And he loses his mind, and I'm like, "What?" And then I go see another waitress, Dominican. I do it, and like, they've never seen that. It's not in their culture. I'm like, that's today's video. So I just went around being like, I'm doing like the Marietta figure, and it was like, so it's sometimes like me, it was planned, but like I let it come how I feel. You have no choice when you do that. These guys are pretty consistent. Right now, haven't touched it in years, but these guys constantly.
Can you give us that again in English?
I don't many do. I told you.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it definitely is grueling.
Thank you.
And I think as somebody who constantly thinks about videos, you live in an alternate reality than everyone else. Whereas, people are seeing moments. I'm seeing moments that could be in a fucking cool vlog or something, right? So I'm like, damn, grab
Where's
the
my
phone,
camera?
grab the camera,
It's the same
right?
thing with magic, right? Like,
Yeah,
once
you're-
you start it, you're like,
you're
oh, I could
constantly-
do that and turn it into
Yeah.
this, and that would make it.
Yeah, this would be a
whatever,
cool.
right?
Oh, that'd be a funny skit. Or this would be right. And so you're constantly living in that, which kind of like takes over your life and kind of becomes tiring for the people around you. But
Well, that's what I was wondering.
to be
Today,
honest,
he didn't
man, like
stop.
you're fucking making bucks, so like fuck them, right?
The last couple of days, like anytime he'd walk past something, he'd be like, "Oh, take out the camera." Like today, we're at a coffee shop, and he's just like clicking away, like the barista making. He's like, "I'm just taking a couple snaps," and like, "Yeah, okay, whatever." But now that you're in this, or you're striving and you're doing it, your mind is geared towards
Yeah,
that.
I'm seeing,
yeah,
like,
exactly. You're seeing this. It's
Yeah, it does become exhausting though, definitely. Yeah, it's a challenge, but worth it.
What? You look? Are you ready?
How about it?
Yeah,
Yeah,
well,
give
no,
her,
I-
give her,
I-
give her. Don't be afraid.
I was
It's
just-
Get your
time.
shit together.
I was just like enamored by Chris. He's good stuff.
I know.
But no, I was just gonna say like the only real experience I have with creating content was really for Eric's show, and that was all we.
That's for our show, man.
Well, our show, yeah,
know?
that's true. That's true.
Well,
I do have the first credit. Let's just scroll to the end and see my name. It's spelled correctly. So yeah, but that was like one of those ones where every day we were just like going out and be like, oh, let's make a trick with this. Let's make a trick with that. Like it was just picking up new
Does
shit.
it work? I don't know. I'm just going
Like,
to do it. All
We
right.
would literally be like, it would just be like name an object. Now let's try and make a magic trick. And the one thing I didn't realize, which I feel bad now, but at the time it was like we had to turn out so many tricks. Who knew it would be that many tricks? And it ended up being, oh, I'm gonna make a trick with this. And then I'd be like, oh, this trick, fuck it, it's not me on TV. And then I would just make the trick and hand it to Eric.
I
and be
get
like,
there at 8 in the morning. Here's the story, president. I'm like, that's fucking shit. Wow, that's what it is. I'm like, ah.
but
But
it
it
was
wasn't
national
like,
TV. Like, no, this doesn't work.
and you know, like I lost sleep. Like I cried. The first month I was like, what? This is going on TV. But with all the editing, with all the,
Yeah.
it was nothing to worry about. Like a couple things. There's just like
yeah, that wasn't mine.
a lot. Maybe like 20 tricks out of the 220 that I'm like, oh my god.
Yeah. But there's also 20 that you're like, fuck.
Yeah, we thought of
Fuck
that.
yeah,
We thought of that.
came,
Yeah.
speaking of doing magic with anything, I learned last night that you two, we had a few drinks at a bar, and you were doing magic for some of the people there. And, you just walked up and you were just doing it, no problem. What is your go-to bar effect that you can just do off the cuff? Like, do you have something where you're like, I'm at a bar, you're doing flip stick with straws and
That's
stuff
it.
like that's it? That's it? I nailed
Straws
it.
everywhere. Like
Pretty much.
Great question. Great
Unanimous
question.
across the board. They're all
Unanimous.
doing
Flip
the same
stick.
trick.
Make a straw
Learn
disappear.
flip stick.
I mean, whatever prop is at the bar, I think is appropriate, and low lighting, drunk people, loud music's perfect. You just throw shit over their heads and hope for the best.
All right.
I've built a magic career on it, so
On that note, the three of you especially use magic very much in a social setting in a very positive way versus the standard idea of a nerdy magician off to the side shuffling cards, whatever. You guys, use it as a real tool. Magicians like to say, "Oh, magic's a tool for communication," and then they go do the same trick with the same script.
Performing
They
for
don't
other
look
magicians.
exactly. So seems the opposite. So what's the secret? How do you use magic for in a positive way socially?
I think we talked about it yesterday at your talk at the YouTube thing. 2 days ago. I don't know. But it's. Are you texting?
No, it recorded a voice note. I just sent it.
It's. What was the question?
Let me jump in.
What was it?
Wes, what do you have to say?
How do you use it
Wes seems
positively?
prepared.
Let's give it to Wes.
who are you? Who are you people? What am I doing here?
This is Toronto.
What was the question?
You have a fever.
Chris and I maybe have a similar opinion on this, but because you got into magic later, right? And I did as well. So I was already used to being social without it.
Yeah.
So to me, it just like
Enhance.
if you learned a new good joke that you can't wait to tell your friends.
Yeah.
To me, all of a sudden, it was just enhancing my normal way.
Yeah.
And it really, when you can add good magic to your already normal likable self, it's gonna go.
So that's what we were saying. So at your talk, we were saying people are like, if a magician says oh, what do you do want to see the invisible deck? If they want to grab something off you, it comes down to personality. If they like you, they'll like what you do no matter what. Doesn't matter what you do.
If they like you, it doesn't matter what you do, and if they hate you, it doesn't matter what you do, right?
Done. So it's more about presentation. Presentation also means likability and
sure.
not being if you give a slight
And the word patter
Dead.
is such shit. Like when you're actually trying to be a human being involved in a conversation. Who uses patter in a conversation? The kind of fucking
script
asshole
every
sits there and is
conversation
like,
I have.
"Oh, interesting. So blah blah blah," and goes into this weird mannequin routine. What are you? What are you
what's
doing?
happening?
It's so weird.
You're reciting a script to me. I
So,
think. What's happening
If
there?
you're actually if you're on stage and stuff, it's
Yes,
very
of course,
important to
I
have
was gonna say,
script and that type of thing. But in a social situation, it's the weirdest thing. It's like going on stage and doing a magic show and having nothing prepared. And this is kind of the same thing, right? And you're kind of like, well, how's it go? What's your name? Oh, sick name. What else? You know, like, I mean, what are you going to do? So social situation, I think, is the same.
Which is contrary to popular advice, because people generally say, like, and you hear it a lot, like, they're like, learn 5 tricks well. But you think, like, I'm going to do 5 tricks only with scripting for 5 tricks. Like, doesn't that take all the fun out of this hobby that we have?
Yeah, most of the stuff, like, a lot of the stuff we come up with, I'm sure you guys are the same, like, when you're in a bar, when you're in a social setting, a lot of it's on the cuff, a lot of it's on the fly, and sometimes it'll be because you messed up, and you'll come up with, like, something on the fly, and try it. It's really super ballsy at the time because you've never attempted it, and you get away with it, and that becomes, like, your new thing, right? So,
For sure.
yeah.
And sometimes like desperation is your key,
Yeah.
right? So like short sheet yourself sometimes and go in a little bit under and try and find a way to make them. I've been in situations where I get there and I think I'm only doing an hour walk around. Turns out like, oh, you're doing 2 hours and there's only 60 people. And you're like, well then. And all of a sudden
Getting
I'm like,
creative tonight.
I guess I'm gonna be funny today
Yeah.
or whatever the thing is, right? And you have to like.
I'm going to hide in the bathroom for half an hour.
Well that too, but you have to dig deeper and find a different way, right?
So on the note of using magic, either for media or just in general interacting with people, what's a big, huge mistake that you see with young magicians today, especially
Like on social media?
Yeah, let's start with that.
Huge mistake is a lot of them, like if they're performing like a visually fooling trick, they don't do it well. They don't perfect it, and I think it's the dumbest thing in the world because you literally are like the god of your production. You can do everything. You can add music, you can add cuts, you can add whatever you want, whatever it is that you want to do. And if you screw that up, like you're an idiot because no, you are because like why would you upload that?
You
online?
look at the final product.
Unless you're like just again an idiot and unaware that it doesn't look good. But like you are aware, don't kid yourself. You're not kidding anyone else by saying, "Oh, that was the best I could do." No, it wasn't. You know very well. 2 weeks later, you're gonna be like, "Damn it, I'm gonna delete that and do another one."
Even you were saying sometimes you do like 60 takes.
Oh yeah, whatever
has
it
to be
takes.
perfect.
Like it's not real life, so use that, right?
Yeah,
Like
we put out 10-minute videos, but record for 2 hours and just like spend days snipping away like seconds
Right.
in between words. Because why
yeah.
not?
If you get, and you know what, I've spent half a day trying to film something and it didn't work out. It's the most frustrating thing in the world. And end up just chucking it and just waiting till like another opportunity to go at it again, rather than put up a half-ass, variation or whatever.
That's genius. Most of the videos I put up are from my live performances, so I don't have that luxury.
Yeah.
And then I spend half
I got
my
one
life
shot.
deleting comments. Like freeze at 3:41. I know. So if you have an opportunity, if you're not doing a live show in front of 1,000 people, fucking take the 80 takes or whatever.
That's
because
But it does seem like there is, especially for the world of like YouTube, a real benefit to quality over quantity. And that was something that we first really discovered when we spoke to Justin Willman, who was one of the first guys who said like, yes, I have an online presence. Yes, I have videos online, but each one of my videos are very carefully crafted, and I don't release anything that isn't TV ready to the internet because that's just the quality that I need to like.
Yeah, but I think that's debatable. I think that works for him because that's what he's aspiring to.
Fair.
How many followers does he have?
I have no idea.
Just kidding,
he
okay,
has,
no.
he has 21 million views.
Yeah, no, I love Justin. I love everything he does. I think he's super
for
creative.
sure.
But to be fair, I think like there are the PewDiePies of YouTube and there are the
course.
Casey Neistats, right? So PewDiePie
And there's also a difference
churning
between,
out bullshit every day, getting
Exactly.
51 million subscribers, and then there's
Hello.
Casey, like really quality content. So I think both are valid.
There's also a difference between like sort of being a YouTuber, which is what you're doing, versus just having enough content
on YouTube.
online
Yeah.
that when someone Googles you, you've got something to
Yeah,
show
also I
for
think
it,
Justin
right?
is on a different level as well. Like the guy is like, successful TV guy.
And
Yeah,
that's
that's
his
exactly what he
projection,
said.
right?
Yeah.
It's like
Very
his stuff
TV.
is
And his
show
latest,
is TV
his
ready.
latest YouTube stuff only made it to YouTube because
The TV
Comedy
it was-
Central didn't buy the
that's
pilot.
exactly right.
So
Yeah.
he just took the pilot, went chop, chop, chop. Here you go.
Yeah.
You're like, how did he do it? It's like,
How do you get this amazing quality content?
He
Like,
had
so
100
TV
grand
ready.
to do it.
Yeah,
with.
exactly.
That makes sense.
But I love that he takes the time to do that, and I think if
Yeah,
Justin
it's great.
didn't, I wouldn't like him as much. I think
Oh,
what he does is like, I can't wait for another
Even
video.
he's
his
one of my
marketing
heroes.
material, even his
Yeah.
posters,
Oh, yeah.
his photo shoots, the most creative for me, honestly, the most creative shots. I'm like, oh fuck, it's so good.
Yeah.
Like you see the guys
I
in
see
the
that
green,
too. All
the
of
guys
it.
in the green.
Enough about Justin. What the fuck, right?
Yeah.
No, but
Three
it's
is
just even if it's a very large example, it's still an example of the idea of like quality and how important that is, and how it's not just about, which is one of the things you see on YouTube. Like you were one of the original guys, you and Kayla Morelli doing a Project 365 of sorts. Now, everyone and their brother's doing 365, but a lot of times you're looking at it, you're like, this is a trick from a magic shop. Like, I don't even understand, like, what you're even, like, what is the point of this, right?
So why are you doing ball vase?
Exactly. So there's really something to the fact that it's not just about endlessly uploading content, but it is about, you know, like you said, you had to find that moment of the person laughing at you, pulling off your thumb or whatever it was you were doing, to say, this is today's video. This is funny enough.
Yeah.
This officially passes my internal quality test.
But I think everything also that, like, a lot of things that I post, Eric posts, Wes, and Justin including, I think are all pretty original when it comes to videos, right? And that's why they do so well. I think there's thought behind it. And I think anybody else who's going to, like, hack those ideas is not going to get half
They'll
the
be
attention,
second
obviously,
up.
right?
Yeah.
So it's about, you know, producing quality original content, you know, as much as you can.
And you got three very different guys on stage right now. Like Eric posted, he did a 365, but it almost burnt him out, and he hasn't posted a lot since.
Yeah.
And I don't post hardly ever. Like every 2 months, I'd probably drop a video. And then Chris is doing it the right amount, and you went 2-3 times a week, kind of thing, right? Like, I mean. That's three very different perspectives, and the only one in the last year, Chris has passed. You know, you know, we had more than he's just like, see you guys, subscribers, and you went, you know, way biased, and so there's obviously a right amount to do, which.
I mean, if you're looking to capitalize in a certain platform, depends what your end goal is for sure, 100%. Like yours is booking gigs, right? And yours is just.
You just want to be Eric.
Who the heck knows?
You're just Eric Leclerc.
You don't upload.
We'll do a jump cut.
Eric doesn't give a fuck.
No, but that's a good point.
Yeah.
Like, if you only need a certain amount of content online, so when people go, they see you've been on these TV shows, you have this quality
like a
gigs,
portfolio.
all this stuff. Exactly.
I do tell people all the time. I said, don't be afraid to put your videos online. If I talk to some people, they go, like, I don't want to post that. What if it's like someone might steal it? It's a good idea. I'm like, either it's a good idea or it's not. Like, don't be afraid of putting it out there. If you put it out there and it's a good idea, like at least you'll have had it. And if you put it out there and it's not a good idea, no one's gonna steal it from you anyway.
Yeah.
So like, don't. I bet that's like the number one thing I run into. Like, I don't know if you guys ever heard that, where people don't want to put up, I have this great idea, but I don't want to post it. Like,
Actually, like speaking of like Kalen, I think Kalen is a guy who's very meticulous about what he does and thinks a lot about stuff. He's super creative, a very very smart guy when it comes to like methods and effects and stuff. I really admire him for that. But at the same time, you know, that perfectionism kind of I think prevents him from doing stuff because he's like, I want to get right, and that's like, you know, he's like fighting himself on that. So I think there is a line.
Like it loses a level of organicness.
I think no, he just like really gets really deep into like his ideas and stuff and wants it like a certain vision. And if he's not you know happy with it, he just won't do it, which has worked for him. But I think there's also, I mean, there's you know all sides, and YouTube is a great platform. I know we're only talking about YouTube, but online medium is like a great place to share whatever it is you want. You know, some days I could film like a super high quality video and whatever, like, and then the next day it could be like some shit video of me like sitting in front of my computer, right? But like both are equally fun. It's YouTube, you know. So I don't think
it's having that judgment.
Yeah.
What's funny? What's entertaining? Are people gonna laugh at it? Like, is this worth posting?
And
or how can I edit it to make it more entertaining? Right.
And once you have a following, like people
exactly
just want it. It doesn't matter. Like,
they want to know you.
People
They
want to
see
see you.
Yeah.
They want to be in your life on your laptop. You know what I mean?
I recently like started considering myself, referring to myself as a YouTuber because I think that's cool. I think it's actually this year been inducted into the dictionary where YouTubers.
Nice.
It's a career now.
Yeah, so that's pretty cool. So, but yeah, like I consider myself a magician and a YouTuber, and that's like they're not the same things. They're two different career paths.
When you guys were saying that, let's follow your lives. When I was doing that video a day, after 3 months, my girlfriend and I broke up, and I lost so many views. And I didn't say anything. I didn't address the fact. I was just like, well, she's living with me too. Like she's gone. I'm like, I'm not gonna address it. Like she's gone. I'm
Later,
sad.
girl. Peace.
So, but people were like, where's Julie? Where's Julie? Where's Julie? And a lot of like the girls, a lot of the couples that were watching it together stopped watching. Like, where's Julie? Why aren't you addressing it? And it was personal. I wasn't gonna, you know. And I lost like a little bit, and then I gained it back, obviously. But it was interesting to see. Like, what do you mean? Like, you know, when I do a gag, you know.
So why do you think that is?
Like, Julie, I made a mask. I'm cleaning it up. Just that. It's, you know, it's like, oh, it's like relationship. I don't know. I have no idea.
Like, is it?
They like seeing people's life.
Is it like the authenticity, or is it that maybe like?
I think it's the synergy and they like to see. They like people. That's what reality TV is. They like to see how people react.
And they also want to see, like, part of the glory of YouTube and videos is that, like, it's a capture in your life. You know, most people do vlogging in the office space in their house, right? They're not doing vlogging like outside or they're like, this is what I do. This is my computer. This is my house. my phone. These are my cards.
There's no mystery that people will like follow people's Snapchat stories and Instagram videos of people that they do fuck all during the day.
Yeah.
If you were to ask them, do you have an interesting life? They'd say no. Yet they post all the time on their like Snapchats, and they have friends, 100 of them, tuning in to see them do the same thing they're not doing. Like it's just crazy.
Yeah.
But it doesn't matter because it's all about like the reality TV thing. Like
I think it's also about like personality, character, and when you attach yourself to somebody, especially through YouTube, is a lot like, I mean, because you're definitely creating conversation with the audience in a sort of more personal way, because I am the production manager, I am the editor, and so everything I do is for the people who watch, right? And you create this, you're looking straight into the lens, you're talking to somebody, right? So it's kind of like you're like their BFF in a sort of way, and people really attach themselves to that, right? And you see that when you meet your fans in like real life and stuff. It's super cool, right? Because you actually open a conversation, whereas I think in a lot of other like maybe TV or stuff, you see more of like, oh, the celebrity or whatever. YouTube creates that like really good synergy between the audience and the
And
person
I'm
behind the
going
camera.
through proof of that right now. So for the last 5-6 years, I posted like mannequin challenge or the ice bucket challenge, make it like super interesting. And trailers to TV shows and stuff. And because I'm not being like, hey guys, what's up? I miss you. Da, da, da. I have 65,000 subscribers. I'm getting like 3,000-4,000 because I've lost
You've
their.
lost them.
They're like, oh, he's just. Either he's too big for us now, or he's, you know what I mean? He's just he's not saying, guys, I miss you. You got that.
Right.
It's just, but it's great videos of
Yeah.
like professionally shot, like, you know what I mean? National Geographic stuff. And they're just like, it's not, it's what you said. It's about talking. They want to see.
It's about the
you.
relationship.
It's the
Look in the
relationship
camera
and
and be
the
like, yo,
authenticity. Like,
what's up?
anybody can get on YouTube, so they feel like they could be doing what you're doing. They're just not, right? They're like, oh, he's just a dude with his camera, and like I could be on this platform. But when they see you on TV, they're like, how the fuck do you get on TV? Like, what's the first step towards that?
Yeah.
I can't just buy a laptop.
That's also why YouTube's become like one of the biggest, like obviously like broadcast, television, radio, and stuff, and podcasts are competing with like YouTube and stuff, right? Because and they're not winning. Like YouTube is just this monster that like, okay, I'm reaching a niche audience. First of all, a niche audience, a direct targeted audience, right, for any brand that wants to gain access to that. First of all, second of all, it's not costing me crazy millions of dollars of production. It's costing me a camera and a light, and then I'm filming myself.
Yeah.
So you're saving on costs there. Nice. And I think you obviously this isn't a secret, but you're 50 times more likely to purchase something upon the recommendation of an influencer or somebody on YouTube, like Casey flying through New York on his boosted board, right? How many thousands did that sell? But you felt that Casey loved that boosted board, right?
Yeah.
But if there was a boosted board commercial on TV, you wouldn't see those sales. So there is something to say about the actual like emotional attachment that people have to YouTubers.
It's so
in a marketing standpoint as well, right? It's very, very valuable for a lot of these companies, and that's why it's killing television.
And even if Casey Neistat did a TV commercial for a booster board, it wouldn't be the same. You'd be like, fuck you, they paid you to do that.
Yeah,
you sell out piece of shit, right? Like, but if you're just like,
by the way,
if
Boosted Board's watching, I would totally fucking do a commercial for them. Just gonna throw that out there.
I can guarantee you, Boosted Board is not listening. Okay, I can guarantee you.
That's the spirit.
There's been a lack of applause breaks. Am I the only one to notice that?
You guys enjoy yourselves or what? Yeah? Good shit? Should we change up? What do you want to hear? Chris is going to freestyle.
What?
All right. No, not
I was ready.
So
Were you?
My body was ready.
We just started talking about the idea of followers. How do you interact with your followers? Are you on it a lot? Is it just kind of thing that you like, make sure they know that you exist, and that's it? Or is it really you get out what you put in, interact with them, comment, all that sort of thing?
I don't know what it is like for you guys. Like probably you like with TV, maybe you got a lot, but like for me, like I literally like I get like I don't know like a lot like messages like every day like on different emails and whatever. Or just like ats or whatever, right?
Yeah. I emailed you a couple times.
I don't think I responded to those.
No, you did not.
It's not that I don't.
Thanks for being here. But no, you didn't.
Again, what am I doing here? But I don't. See, the thing is like I don't want to sound ungrateful or anything, but I just don't have time. And like if I'm filming videos, if I'm editing and I'm working and I'm doing all these things, I just don't have time because a lot of people, they have a simple question. And yeah, in theory, they're like, well, why didn't he answer my simple question, right? Because when I answer that simple question, guess what?
Another simple
it opens up a
question.
conversation, right?
Yeah.
And then you're like, damn, dude, so awesome to speak to you. Like,
Yeah.
let's hang out.
That's
like,
what it is.
You know, and it's cool. I appreciate that. So when I see people in person, I'm like so happy to spend time with them because I've taken the time, but like I just don't have it. And I wouldn't want to like, you know, I wouldn't want to let them know I read it. Because then they're like,
What did you think?
This
I asked
asshole
the
didn't write back.
question.
Like he
Worst
clearly read it,
invention.
right?
It's
So
the
I just don't
worst.
read it. I just don't.
I asked the
don't
question
read
and
it.
you liked it. What does that even mean?
Yeah, I
For
just
me, it's
I
more
try
like-
not to interact as much as possible, just because
Yeah.
I don't want to get into that, right?
Yeah,
And it also
yeah.
creates like a mystery, I think, for brands. You know, if you call up Tom Cruise, he's not going to answer the phone,
Yeah.
right?
Well,
and
you
on-
hope he
he's on
doesn't.
next
but
week.
like,
You hope he doesn't, right?
But like also that kind of like that veil of mystery is what is attractive to a lot of people. I think within social media or on television or anything else. I think the less you know about somebody, the more you want them, right? To a certain extent, but throw them a bone every now and then. We're going to do a Q&A. I'm going to answer your question. I'm going to take the time out of my day, out of my week, and I'm going to devote it to answering questions now because I've made that time, right? So it's not like I don't want to answer. It's like you got to make the time for it.
For me, I feel like a lot of the messages are just to see if I'm going to reply.
Yes.
Hi, a lot of Indian, like,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
don't-
yeah. I
national,
get that
they
too.
bought Tricked, and now it's in India, and
Yeah, dick pics.
so many dick pics.
Send
no,
nudes.
I've never gotten a dick pic, actually.
I still
I never taken one. You ever take a dick pic? Like a
I've taken one on your phone.
Yeah, but panoramic.
Yeah, that's actually
I've
true.
never-
That's
I've
legitimately
I took a
true.
dick pic on
Panoramic
Eric's
pic.
phone.
But and it's if you reply, you're like, hey, oh my god, I can't believe you wrote back, and it goes nowhere. The only exception, when a lot of magicians, right? But when it's a question that's like, no, how'd you do this trick? Or like, I wonder if you can help me. Can you? No, if it's like,
Yeah, I've had some of those as
and
well,
I'm
yeah.
like, you know what? Like,
Yeah.
they need it. Like, and like, sure, it makes their day, but I'd much rather make a young magician's day to be like, than
sure.
somebody from India saying like, oh, hey, you know what I mean? Like, they don't. I love all
Maybe,
Indians.
I don't-
Maybe? I don't
I'm
quite,
not-
I'm not
I don't know
sure.
exactly
There's
what
two
that
things
meant.
I don't like in this world: racist people and Indians. But no, I'm kidding.
Can you say it again in English?
I think I was done. Yeah. So it's choosing who you. It's too much. You can't.
What about in the early days?
Yeah.
Yeah, in
Every
the early
single
days,
one.
and
Every
I'd
single
also
one.
I get mad at some of my friends who have like a bigger following, who had a bigger following than I had. Now look at me now, bitches. But no, who had like a bigger following. I was like, you don't answer your fans. I'm like, you're such an asshole. You gotta get talk to your fans. You gotta talk to your fans. Those are what you gotta be grateful. You gotta, and then like now I understand. I'm like, you can't. You just
Yeah.
physically, it's
Yeah,
not
it's
possible.
not possible.
So
We'll talk to you. We're not that famous
We're not that
yet,
famous.
so
Yeah, we got
just
plenty of
email
time
us
on our
and we'll
hands.
respond.
I will respond to.
yeah, they'll poke you on
I'll
Facebook.
respond-
Yeah. Hey, please just ask us anything. Anything you want. Ask us a question.
I will respond to whatever is convenient in that moment. Like, obviously, I'll have downtime, right? Like, if I have 5 seconds and
Sitting on the toilet.
Well, yeah, like if a message literally pops up, I'll fucking reply to it right away. Like, but if I look at my phone and there's like a bunch of messages, I'm like, I won't fucking read them. But if I'm just happen to be sitting there and I see one and I go, I'll just swipe it and I'll reply. So I mean, my percentage isn't good, but I'm replying if I can. And the other thing that really fucked with me is I did a video on YouTube where it's a clip from my live show, but my phone number gets out there.
Yeah.
I get called. I
Yeah.
get called lots
That's
in
a
there.
great
Text,
social
text,
experiment.
messages and photos and
What do they
pictures.
They call and
They call, but they also
no, they call you, answer, and they're like, usually
yeah.
they just hang
Yeah,
up.
They hang up. They like sometimes I'm like hello, because I don't know, maybe it's a gig from someone I don't know, right? But then it's just immediately hang up or
That's
like
funny.
be like hello. They're like, hey, holy shit, he picked up the phone. Hey, is this Wes Barker? I'm like, yeah, it's Wes Barker. They freak out on the phone.
Do you actually need anything from
Yeah,
me?
it's not productive at all. I'm like, hey guys, like I didn't think it was real. Love your stuff. And then I'm like, that was not fun for anyone.
It's a fun social experiment, though.
Yeah, it's kind of cool. I should make a compilation video of just all the people that call me.
It's
Yeah.
also interesting. We should talk about the negative feedback. And
About it.
like I saw one of your comments. Somebody was like, "Oh, if you want to see something, blah blah blah, look at the street special, a street man." It was like a diss, and you were like, you wrote roasted. And like Rick Lax is the epitome of replying and like letting these people affect his life. He's like, how would you screen caps and how this is not right? I didn't do anything.
Yeah,
to you. It's
his whole feed's like a
crazy.
tabloid.
It is crazy.
Are you drawing a comparison
And-
between Donald Trump and Rick Lax?
And I
been
know
done.
we learned that negative comments are good because if somebody's like, you fucking suck, someone's gonna reply it, and then that person's gonna go back, click on your video, go defend themselves. Everybody's gonna be no likes, thumbs up.
Yeah.
It's traffic on your videos, so it's like
Have at it. Come
like
on.
it was hard, man. It was
Yeah.
hard to like be faced with that.
I
Fucking suck,
don't.
you're fucking gay, and it's like what?
That stuff like doesn't bug me at all because like you don't know like what that person's going through or whatever. But like for me, I don't don't accept positive criticism and I don't accept negative criticism because either one could be just as dangerous as the other. If somebody says that was amazing, right?
Yeah.
They could be saying like that was amazing because
Yeah.
that was amazing. Oh, everything you do is like, right?
That's a lot of blowjobs.
Right?
That was
Right?
a lot of dick.
And it's quick too. And so like that type of thing can also like, you know, sway your path of what you're trying to accomplish, right? If you start listening to all the good stuff, you're like, oh, people really like this.
That's why there's so many
Wow,
magicians in
people
the
really
world.
like when I do math tricks and make them hit the like button, right? So like that can bring you into really murky territory, right? So I think
we do want Rick on our podcast.
Cool.
Just so you
Not
know.
happening after this, I'm
Not
telling you.
anymore, but
I-
Oh, no, he
I
knows.
will
I told
defend
him.
Rick
I told
all
him.
day.
I've written him a message. Dude, you have to realize.
I said-
no, he just.
I said on your podcast, Rick is doing this right thing. Like,
Yeah,
obviously
he is.
has,
Yeah,
he has
yeah.
people
There's
that
a
like what he's
billion
doing.
likes.
I'm like, I can.
I have
a billion
okay. I'll be
likes.
honest.
The most viewed
I'll
person
be
on
I'll be
Facebook.
honest. I have no problem with his videos.
right.
So let's just end it
That's
at that.
that's the number. Yeah, that's the okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you can say-
Exactly.
Yeah,
I'll
I just,
say exactly.
I just don't like the guy. So got him. But yeah.
Get shot.
Yeah, he's gonna sue me. But
Just hit the
Yeah.
like button.
but whatever. It's cool. Like I really don't. I think it's fun, and I think you know.
I admire
I think
it.
I think it's
Crazy.
also, and I think it's also fun to laugh at that shit, right? Because
Yes.
that's what the internet's about. Internet's about memes. Fuck. If you don't know what a meme is. Like, and you're on, and you're the
man.
biggest like Facebook dude, then you're just like living. I don't know where you're living because that's not possible,
Yeah, and
right?
if you
Memes-
blow up like that, we're gonna take the piss out
Oh,
of you. Like, that's
100%,
the way it
100%.
is,
And that's
right?
just
So,
the way it
yeah.
goes. So, like, you need to just, like, you know, just accept it,
all
man.
love.
And it's nothing personal. It's just because you become a fucking joke. So we're going to laugh at you. You know, that's just, no, that's the
There's
reality.
25 million
Ourselves,
people watching
right?
you. That's gonna come
Right,
out.
exactly.
Yeah.
There's like, we're going to
Not everyone's gonna. We already
He's like,
know
oh, he's
as the-
using our fame to whatever. It's like, fucking hell yeah.
Exactly.
What do you want? Like,
debate,
I'm not
you
going
know?
to deny that.
What?
Yeah.
Most people
I'll ride
don't
that
like
train.
Chris Angel. Maybe some girls like him. A couple guys, oh, he's pretty cool. Does his stuff. But mad respect. Like $200 million Vegas contract. Like, okay, fine. He's unethical sometimes. But like, let's take all of that magician kind of jadedness away. Like, yo, props, man. Like,
Yeah.
fucking magic with
Keep it
magic.
up.
With
100%.
magic.
It's like people dissing like Justin Bieber. It's like this guy's killing it. What are
Yeah.
you even talking
But
about?
it's
Like,
also because, like, it's funny.
Yeah.
It's funny.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
who cares if it's true or not? It's just funny. It's
Yeah.
good comedy.
Yeah.
yeah.
Right? To laugh at Justin Bieber because he looks like an abused lesbian. Like, it's funny. Right?
Yeah.
I
like
guess.
Did you guys want to have Justin
I'm not
on
laughing
as
at
well?
abused lesbians.
No, he already was. I'll
Yeah,
stop
no,
touching
it's,
this.
it's you,
Oh,
it's
hello.
YouTube call.
We're having a
no.
break.
It's another
I'll have a
fan.
McChicken
No
then.
phones. Phones away.
Are we
What
not
the
breaking?
fuck is happening? Should
He's a former fatty. This guy. I don't know if you know. Look back a few years.
He just carries around the McDonald's stuff to smell like
That's it.
dodgeball.
It's like a heroin addict that still keeps their needle kit just in their
doesn't-
back pocket,
Okay,
but they
let's.
don't use
Is
it.
there a
Yeah,
question?
all about
What's
that.
the question?
So yeah, great thought.
That's fair.
One of the things we touched on is the idea of branding and knowing who you are. And part of what factors into that is saying, like, I don't listen to the positive comments, I don't listen to the negative comments because it sort of knocks me off the mark of who I'm trying to be and
Yep.
what my goals are. So what are your, I know that Wes gave us some awesome advice on branding when he was on the episode. Do you guys have any general advice for branding, whether it's for the online world or offline in general, getting bookings and stuff like that?
I think keeping a clean, sort of understandable aesthetic about your brand, so whatever it is, whether it's photography, videography, or your website, or even your videos. anything-
Personality on stage.
Yeah, absolutely. I think keeping it
Yeah,
tight.
sure.
Keeping it tight is very important. You know, not letting people be confused by your brand is definitely, and essentially I said this yesterday. You know, it's like perfection isn't when you can't add anything to something. It's when you can't take anything else away.
Right.
And you know, you're down to like exactly.
Yeah, that's like
you
a
shitting
nugget.
on
Like that's the most
3
amazing
days of this.
thing.
3 days of
Dropping
this filling my brain. I'm
amazing.
going home
What are you
on.
God
Hard
damn
on.
it.
It's like, do you use Twitter? You should use Twitter. That was a good one.
But like that's the thing though. It's like you know, you got to kind of like really refine it, and it's not going to be refined when you start off, right? But you will look back, and I'm sure everybody in this room, if you're posting on social media, you look back at the post and you're like, "Wow, shit, it was garbage, right back then." But you're like, "I'm really happy with what I'm doing now." But you're going to say the same shit about what you're doing now in a year. You know, you're gonna be like, "Oh, that was crap." So it's just like it's a refinement, but as long as you're conscious of it and moving towards that, you know, seeing people have these really nice brands like Justin Willman, for instance, right? Like you look at that and you're like, well, this guy's a genius. He's just really good at brand. No, the guy works fucking hard.
Yeah, of
like
course.
constantly, he's probably constantly thinking about his brand, constantly thinking about everything he says, does, his ideas, what time he posts his videos. All this is like very, very intricate, you know. So we don't see the work behind that, but they're definitely it's just a grind, and you can't. There's no shortcut. Is what I'm saying.
There's not much to add there.
Yeah.
That's like.
Yeah, can we just talk to Chris?
Yeah.
You're here just
feel like
to
that.
get him
I
here.
actually have to take a piss, so.
Oh shit! All right. Actually,
Really?
he's
Yeah,
actually.
He has to take a piss.
Oh, enjoy.
Yo, Wes, grab me a beer. Grab me an Old Tom.
yes, so-
I'll get you
same.
back.
Oh my goodness.
I'll have
Yeah.
a vodka soda, tall glass.
Jack
Yeah.
Coke.
Let's do it.
So
3 shots.
While he's gone, let's talk about him.
Yeah.
I'm
So
glad he finally left.
Jesus, he's always here.
Ladies and gentlemen,
He's
Russ
just waiting.
Parker.
We can be normal now.
Bob,
Yeah, now we can
yeah,
finally
we
relax.
have,
I think.
Bob Barker.
You guys want to hear a funny
coming
story
back.
about
Russ
Wes?
Parker.
So, Magic Festival in Quebec. Wes decides to come and chill with us. Doesn't speak a word of French. It's in Quebec.
So
Everything's
great.
French, right? So I'm doing my
What?
stage show there. It's like 16
I'm
plus
gonna
stage
fall.
show,
This
and
is
he's
so
sitting in
great.
the audience the whole weekend. He's just like, I don't care, but no idea.
It's so funny.
So during the show, I say in French, listen, guys, my buddy is here from Vancouver. He doesn't speak a word of French. Has no idea what's going on. His name is Wesbarker in French, right? So I spell it out. So they're like, okay.
And he's just sitting there like,
Yeah, and,
With his-
yeah,
with
no,
his, like,
and I'm just
vacant look
and
on
I-
his
and I'm
face,
talking
like-
about like, okay, so my friend from Vancouver is here, and I'm pretending it's Patter or whatever.
yeah, and I'm watching him, and he's just like,
So I say
Great,
every
he's really
time
good
I
on
say his
stage.
name, I want you guys to boo as loud as you can. In French. So then I'm like, and also we have and I say, nigga, well, my good friend Wes Barker is in the audience from Vancouver. You might know him from America. Wes is like what?
loses
Like,
his
and they do it again. I don't know. You guys know Wes Barker? And he's like, boo. He's like, what the fuck is going on?
he was actually rolling on the ground laughing. Like,
Yeah,
he thought that was so
good,
funny.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's so funny.
Yeah. And then he exits the show, and he's just like drop kick
Like,
in the neck by a
that
random
was
fan.
such a good bit. I thought about it maybe before the show. I asked you, do you think I should do it? But I'll never do that again. But it was so good.
That
It
was
was
funny.
just on the cuff. And like it's all about, we talked about when you do walk around or whatever, and your spectators are actually, hey, with your tripod story, then the
Yeah.
spectator says a comment, you're like, and you just want your trick, you don't interact with them.
Exactly, you
Like,
just
that
cut
kind
them
of
off,
stuff
yeah.
is like, they know I've never said that.
Yeah.
That crowd know. That's why comedians, it looks funnier when you say, what do you do? Oh, they have a joke for every,
yeah.
something impromptu always looks way, and they give you credit. He's like, okay, that
sure.
guy's funny. He's not reciting stuff. Like, that guy's funny.
Definitely.
Yeah.
What was the question?
Huh?
What's the effect?
Should we? Do you have notes?
I
got
do
notes.
know. So one question. I was actually I thought we'd stop to do a quick audience Q&A.
That's what I was just about to suggest.
That's a really good idea.
Yeah.
So I am going.
We have
to,
a pretty solid audience too.
Are you
Chris Mayhew's in the house.
Yeah, we do. You guys having fun? You guys, see, I can't see
I'm
anybody.
going to sneak out into the audience with my lav mic. Does anybody have a question?
Chris Mayhew has one. Yeah, you do. It's gonna be amazing. I know it.
So when you're like, I'm not a big YouTuber, but I put a couple of videos together for myself for my own my
Yeah.
business. One thing I remember reading in Maximum Entertainment was sell the steak and sell the sizzle and not the steak.
Right.
Do you
Yeah.
guys kind of follow that? Like when you're
I think it depends. I think if you have a really good steak, like why not also sell that? But like if your steak is shit, then yeah, sell the sizzle. But like in all honesty, like it all depends on what you're trying to do. There are some videos that lend themselves more to a personality, if that's what you're trying to say. Lend themselves more to like this video is going to be more about my personality, even though the effect is sound and everything is good. My personality is going to shine through,
So sizzle and steak is basically the presentation and the effect.
I think that's what I'm
Because
gathering.
I was following that.
I was going.
I'm
Sorry,
a
my
vegan,
apologies. I was
I
going
don't
for
know
more.
what the fuck
Yeah, I
you're
know what's
talking
going
about.
on.
I was
What's
like,
that?
I was going for more the reaction of the spectator from seeing it. So that's the sizzle versus the steak being the actual trick.
Okay. I mean, that depends. Are you talking like a different take? Like cut in like laughing shots or stuff, or focusing more on the spectator type thing?
Reacting, essentially, yeah, for like my demo purposes.
Oh,
like,
okay.
making sure everybody's enjoying the show, kind of type deal.
Right. Okay. Oh, that's an interesting question. Recently, I did my promo video, and I was actually had to focus more on the spectator, and it was a conscious decision not to show very much magic, very, very few, just because I wanted to see what type of sort of mystery that would sort of garnish with people watching it, saying, why are they reacting like this? Like, what's so special about this guy? Let's give him a call. right? Rather than just show them my whole repertoire, and then they know what to expect, and they may or may not be impressed. So I mean,
think the perfect example is David Blaine, who said,
yeah,
this doesn't matter.
turn it on them.
Turn the camera, and they're like, yeah, like you're in the boardroom and you're making people react. You're like, look, the way you guys are reacting right now, that's what should be on TV.
That's what magic
And it's
is,
interesting
right?
magic,
He flipped
right?
it,
It's
right?
interesting, like television, like even America's Funniest Home Videos, right? You'd see the kid tumble, and then you'd see like some guy from Kentucky and his family
Thanks,
like
buddy.
just like laughing in the audience, right? Like super hard, and you're like, why do they cut in that guy laughing? Because it's fun TV. It's fun to watch somebody have fun watching something. I don't know if that makes sense, right? But it is super meta.
Forgot to ask, what was your name?
What did I
John.
miss?
Jonathan. We have another question over here. Is that true? Yes.
Hey, nice.
So your name and your question.
James Harrison, and
Sorry, I'm sorry.
Oh, just quickly, everybody, this is Wes Barker.
Wes Barker, ladies and gentlemen, America's Got Talent. Oh, sorry. I was not even following my own fucking joke.
Yeah, because we fucked
I
that
told
up.
the story.
about
Oh,
that.
about the French thing.
Okay, sorry to
Sorry,
interrupt.
man.
Thanks for bringing me my drink.
I was like, they hate me in 2 languages.
I'm almost waiting for the whole story to start over again just to see Wes's reaction from
Yeah.
it. But, my question is that if you have sort of like a half-baked idea that you want to put on video,
Yeah.
well, I'm not sure if I got conflicting answers to this, but some of it was just do it,
Right.
and then but some of it was,
But this is for your peers.
well, no, like it.
Well, if it's a half-baked idea, I assume that like you want advice on it.
Not so much that. It's just what do you do from there? I want to put a video out on YouTube. I have no idea editing.
So
Working, all that
is
kind
the
of
idea
stuff.
half-baked or is the video half-baked? Like,
The video totally.
so it's the
half-baked.
editing and more of like the quality of the footage rather than
Like
the content,
I have
right?
the idea.
Okay, if the content is good,
What is it?
upload it, man. Like, no, seriously, if the content is good, it doesn't matter if you film with a potato. I think, and YouTube has proved that, Facebook has proved that.
Oh,
How many
100%.
vertical videos have gone viral, right? It's like my
Yeah,
pet
yeah.
peeve, right?
Yeah.
But they work. So
World
it's
Star
like,
Hip Hop.
right, so like,
Okay,
So
that's what I
content
wanted
is what you're looking for. Quality, that's something you work on, but content is something that you really that's the hard stuff to find. It's like method and effect, right? Like
Okay.
It's not
methods
hard.
are out there. They're out there, but effects are hard to find. So
It's not hard to get someone that does know how to shoot it, right?
yeah, absolutely.
So like, just like, if you're really worried about that, just fucking get someone else to shoot it.
Yeah.
Sorry, wasn't so much the shooting it. Like I can buy a $3 stand or whatever,
Sure.
but it was the thing that Chris had mentioned about. You're an idiot if you don't edit. You don't like find the perfect thing. It's like, man.
Well, I mean,
Yeah, I
that's
know that's a lot
but
of
listen,
pressure.
but we're
I'm there right now.
But we're also like
the
confusing
spot I'm at
something
right now,
here
seriously.
because like
Yeah.
you're talking because I asked you if the effect was sound and you said yes. That means it's a good take. That means it looks
Oh,
fooling
okay.
or amazing, right? In which case, I don't care what you film with and I don't care what music you put to it. If it's a good effect, the content is good, right? But if the content is crap, like no matter how you butter it up, like it won't be as good, right? So, I mean, if you have good content and like crap. Like video quality and crap editing, you'll still get the shares and you'll still get the likes and people still watch it because they're interested, right?
We got a couple more questions here, but while we're getting them, just make sure if anybody has questions on Facebook Live, tell them to feel free to start asking them. You can just remember
We
what they
have
are.
0 viewers, don't
All
we?
3 of you.
Fuck yeah, all 3 of you.
Really?
Here we have my brother, but
Two of
say
them
your
in this
name
room.
and your question.
My name is Ben, and I have a question. How does your content change if you're putting it out for the sake of the content or to push something else? So like for Chris, it seems like your content is mainly like the vlog, so you're producing content for people to watch versus Wes. You're putting out content of your gigs, maybe to promote other content or your actual show. So how does that content change based on like the purpose of the content?
Good question from a
That's-
non-magician.
Take that one.
I will.
away.
I will tee this up right away. We have the exact opposite timeline. Like Chris is putting out content for like this is new content. Watch this. I'm putting out content like this is something I already did. So mine's very passive, right? Like his is very active, where he's like.
That's well put.
Also,
Yeah.
if you want to book me, this is what you're getting.
Yeah, and
right,
I'm like, no one who wouldn't gonna book me should ever be surprised by what they get because all of 85% of my videos are just like live me, right? So there you go. What's that?
Shut up.
We got another one over here. Your name and your question.
My name is Emil, and I was wondering, like everyone does like different kind of tricks, and I know Chris does mostly YouTube. I mean, you guys all do YouTube.
Yep.
But how do you sometimes decide whether to put something on YouTube, or if you're like, oh, I can do this really quickly, is this better for like Instagram?
YouTube view time is very important especially if you're using AdSense and gaining money and stuff. So view time is definitely to have like a higher. It's very technical, but it's true. Having a higher view time average and a viewer retention average will up how much advertisers are willing to pay for your video, and so it's a very technical question, but that's basically I used to upload like the short videos to YouTube until I started checking out stats and reading up about it, and it actually harms your channel more than anything else. So
Really?
it's not even about.
Interesting.
It's not a.
Is it because it's an overall, like it doesn't go video by video, it just go by like
No,
the overall for your
it's
channel?
your overall, yeah.
So,
So
it's just
it lowers your
okay,
average,
yeah.
and so advertisers want to pay less CPM,
Right.
Whatever.
What does that stand for?
It's
Clitoris.
it basically means
Clitoris penis mouth?
Yeah, it's I think is the technical term, but it means how much they're willing to pay per 1,000 hits. How much an advertiser pays you to advertise on your video per 1,000 hits, and higher view retention, this is turning into like a YouTube seminar, but basically that's the reason. So like where Instagram is a good short form, people are scrolling through Instagram. They just want to double. This is the weirdest thing. I've seen this. I don't know where I was. I was with friends, and there was this girl. She was there, and I was just watching her on her phone. I was studying her, and she was on her Instagram, and this was her. Like everything. And she went back. She's like, "Oh no, shit!" Unlike. I was like, so many questions right now, like running through my mind. Like, okay, like I've always wondered if there was followers out there, like who just liked anything, right? And the answer is yes. So, like it's just like a fast medium. It's like Snapchat. You just like it without even really looking at it sometimes. Whereas YouTube, you gotta like click the video, sit down. Yeah.
And plus, it comes down to YouTube's the only platform that actually
So funny.
actually pays.
We got a couple more questions in the audience. Let's keep them quick, just because we're running a little bit short on
So
time.
funny.
Your name and your question.
So good.
My name's Ben, and I have a question for
Hi, Ben
you guys.
Train.
Hello.
BT!
BT in the house.
I love you guys. My question
Ben
for
Train. Sorry.
My question for you guys is this: do you guys have managers, and if so, how did you go about getting them?
I'll let you guys first if you want.
There's a difference between a manager and an agent, and in Canada we don't really decipher. In the States, they very different jobs. In Canada, you're probably going to have one that sort of does both.
They're all fucking lazy in my
They're
opinion.
all They're never. They're
Let's be honest.
literally like agent or manager, whatever. They're not going to get you work. If you're busy enough, they might make your life easier. You will stop having to deal with contracts. You'll stop having to maybe book your own flights and whatever. But if you're looking for them to like help you get gigs, that is just a terrible idea.
I think.
And
Yeah.
don't do it.
Well, let's mention Spidey, which is I've never seen a deal like that where he has a
Let's
manager,
not tell the numbers, but like
manager and agent,
Yeah.
right? And they're like, but he works for him only.
But aren't they lovers?
Every day on the
yeah,
phone.
they're also lovers.
Okay.
Every day on the phone, yeah.
Yeah, no, but
That's crazy.
But like, I think it's more if you're looking for like that type of thing. Like, I work with event planners, and those people are active as hell because they're getting calls from clients who are like, we want to have a banquet for our anniversary at our company, and they're hiring Cirque du Soleil performers and magicians, right? So like, getting in with event planners and stuff, and you don't need one. You can literally have like 5 out there, and they can be putting your name out, and they're active. So those are really good to have. But also online, there's a lot of like social media sort of managers that work with like influencers, and like I work with a company that they work with like TV and stuff. So they hit me up and they're like, well, you'd be a great fit for them. They're making a lot of money off it, probably more than I am even.
Yeah.
But I'm getting work for free. So
I have my agent / manager like hit me up there in a month, and he was like, "Oh, look, I've just been going crazy and got all these gigs." And I'm like, "Fool Us went on Netflix this month, right?" And I think that's where all these gigs are coming from. And he was like, "Oh, yeah." For sure, his phone was just ringing, and he was like, "Yeah."
We got a couple more questions out here. Your name and your question.
That's funny.
Okay, my name is William Longley. I have a question about, so nowadays...
That's your last name?
Yeah, Longley.
Oh, fuck. All right.
So with all the social media nowadays, like for Vine or Instagram, they want something like really...
Vine still a thing?
Nope.
No,
Dead.
no, it was, but like the small little videos, they want something like that's 7 seconds or like a few seconds long, so they want something very visual. I like to do more like a trick where where it's like a long story and then there's a payoff at the end. But I find most of my friends or most of the people that want to see my tricks don't want to see a story and then a payoff. They want to see an instant
And take
trick.
that to the.
Well, then you've answered your own question,
Yeah,
right?
take that to the bank performance
Yeah.
for real people too, right?
You've answered your own
Nobody wants to
question.
sit through a story, really.
Yeah.
You
I mean,
get the
that-
fucking.
Well,
It depends.
It depends.
Generally, most of your friends, well, maybe the people you meet, don't want to hear you talk 2 minutes before they see something cool.
Right.
But there's
For real.
there's an audience out there for that. Like
Of
they're
course.
not people
Oh, yeah,
you
of
know.
course.
Yeah.
So if you're like that kind of thing, put it on YouTube and let that audience.
Yeah,
find
yeah,
out.
yeah, yeah. Oh,
Because-
yeah. Sorry. Yeah, I didn't mean to say that. I meant generally, like, if you want to right away connect with the you saying
But
7
also,
seconds.
like, there's something to be said about like long-term, videos. You'll have videos like Wes's video, which went viral long after it was put up. Correct?
Sure,
It didn't
yeah.
go viral straight off. the
No,
bat.
no, no. Took time.
Where quick visuals and like small things will go viral straight up. Nobody will remember it tomorrow, right? Whereas like maybe longer content, more thought out content, might do better on the long run than in the short run.
Yeah, I have 6 videos that are in the millions now, and not one.
Sorry, Jesus
Yeah,
Christ.
right. Someone's got to say.
Welcome
it.
to the Russ Parker show.
But no, none of them. That is not something to boo, you motherfucker.
We love you.
But none of those videos are shorter than 4 minutes.
That's true.
And none of them are any good off the top. Right? Like they all just start with me being
That's
like,
true.
I'm just in the middle of the stage talking to the audience, being like, so
Yeah.
I need to borrow something from somebody. It's just like I'm bewildered why people are like, I'll watch this guy.
But
Yeah,
those
but
are
you
much
had a
more
pretty
like
bad-
we're all
me
talking
too.
about it, but
Me
those are
too.
much more memorable.
Yeah.
Like then like
Yeah.
did you see that video that like
That's what I'm saying.
whoever posted
They
about
come
that
up in
visual trick?
conversation, right?
Tell me that in 6 months. I'll be like, which video? You posted
Yeah.
77
Yeah.
in like a week, right? I don't know.
Yeah, so it's like, did you see that video where the guy made the card disappear? Compared to, did you see that video where the guy brought a girl on stage and she disappeared from the box and only her dress was left in the box and she came back running from the back of the theater naked?
Let's
So
watch
that's
it
a
together.
conversation.
Yeah.
It, like people are more, I think, more apt to go to, no, in conversation.
No,
it comes
absolutely,
up. Like,
totally.
do you
We
talk
got
about
one more question. I obviously know who you are, but your name and your question.
Hey guys, my name is Chris, and
Chris Mayhew.
Chris Mayhew?
a question I have.
Sorry.
As far as
This
so,
is
there's
the
many
microphone.
different social media platforms. You got Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. Do you find that if you post a video on one platform, that you see crossover of followers rise on like Facebook and the other ones, or do you have to post content for each individual platform to get followers on each individual platform?
I think there are opportunities for cross promoting on different platforms, but those opportunities shouldn't be done every day. I usually like my video on YouTube, like while you're on Facebook, even though I do it because I just don't like Facebook. I don't think they're genuine likes and views. Like, let's like be honest. I think we all know that. They're kind of like
Fuck you, Rick
Yeah,
Lax.
if you're having no.
That's not what I said. But like no, but like seriously, like the YouTube pays you for your content, for your views, so you know that they can't lie about that shit, right? But yeah.
So good.
But I think like crossing over is fine, but you definitely have to cater to each individual.
And also there's demographics,
yeah.
right? So Instagram, it's pretty pictures. Older, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
more like artsy people would be like, wow, these pictures look good. Whereas YouTube, you said your demographic starts at 13 years old. Right. So every platform.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to cater to them.
When you post a video from, I don't know if you noticed, have you ever taken a video from YouTube? You've never done this because you don't like Facebook. But if you ever take a video from from YouTube, even if it's an old video, and just upload it to Facebook, I would
brand
get
new.
so many people being like, "Oh my god, this
Yeah,
video!"
yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah.
"It's 5
It's
years
hidden-
old.
yeah.
It's got a million.
Yeah, yeah.
What? And
Hit and miss.
They don't even know. They go, "I've never
Yeah.
seen this." I'm
Yeah.
like, "You're supposed to be my friends."
Yeah. Yeah.
So it could be brand new every time.
Yeah,
but,
that's
It's
a
still
good
kind
point,
of
too.
mystery, you know? Like,
and I guess on
Well, we know-
Facebook, a lot of
West is the only time I see it.
right. See, okay. And in Facebook, a lot of people apparently are just reading it. Like put that fucking
Yeah, the
closed
text.
caption
Yeah.
on because people don't even turn the sound on.
Yeah, 'cause
This
you're
is
just
news
scrolling
to me.
by, right?
What?
Yeah.
So I'm putting in there being.
It's a different pace. Like on Facebook,
Yeah.
you have to like stop them in their tracks and keep buying the next 10 seconds, 15 seconds, 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Whereas on YouTube, they've clicked on your video. It didn't
So-
autoplay. You
Yeah.
know, like
in Facebook, you
Hmm.
should clearly drop an N-bomb right off the top. That way they see it, right? And they're like, wow, that's a word I don't see. And then they have to watch the video.
They're like, why did this white
That's
man
advice
say
for
that?
everyone.
let's start wrapping up. I know we are running short on
killed it
time.
right
Before
there.
we get to
it's past.
some of the last,
Blue ball.
yeah, there you
Yeah,
go.
there were
Some
so
of the
many things I wanted to. Can I ask that? Wes, can I ask this?
Oh my goodness
dear,
gracious.
whatever.
Okay. So one of the things I wanted to ask before we get to the end, wrapping up, is if someone is just starting out and is looking up to the three of you, whether it's your content creation online, whether it's what you're doing on television, or it's just your bookings, like how you're able to get hired so many times and have the promo video and stuff like that, what would your advice for people just getting into it be?
Your beard length is directly proportionate to your height.
That's funny.
Okay.
And
Are you taller than me?
That one
Yeah.
hurt. Eh?
Oh,
Yeah, we're gonna find out.
That one hurt a little bit. Huh?
That was
inside you.
this
No,
is
you
a
heard it.
pretty
No,
good-
no,
that's
no,
pretty
no.
good.
It was
That's
pity
pretty
last.
good.
No, it hurt.
I would have called it
I
a
know it
bomb,
hurt.
but a
No, no,
comedy
no. I know it
bomb.
hurt
That's
you.
all
I
right,
can
all
tell.
right.
So
And
any advice for a young aspiring magician?
I'm just saying, what I'm saying is don't be afraid to try something new. That was a joke. Didn't go over. Was I afraid to try it? No. Okay. Does that answer your question?
That's good.
I don't know.
Eric, what about you?
Just, I don't know. Find you and be you, man. Like
You're all about the
Cool,
personality.
we'll do that.
eh?
We'll
the
do
goal
that.
of show business is to be seen by as many people as you can, and you have to appeal to as many people as you can, or your specific demographic. We're swearing here, obviously for kids, whatever. But like, if you're you and you find your character and you stick to it, and you write stuff with your character and your content, like my content on social media is like, it's me because I'm just like, blah, I don't give a shit about the image thing. That's me. That's my like, I don't know, does it look good, whatever. Like, but I'm gonna say it again. I spent 3 days with this guy and I like super inspired. Like on the drive home tonight, me and Alex Boyer get snow. We're just gonna rehash what we learned, and I want to say thank you, man.
Man.
No, seriously. You like for 3 days I was just like what you guys, like a couple phrases, like maybe 2 or 3 times tonight, and we were like, oh, that's good. 3 days straight, I'm like just like, oh. There's a lot of whacking off.
Yeah,
in
there's
this
so
podcast.
much jerking
There's
off
a
and
lot of cocks
blowjobs
everywhere.
and just.
If one word of advice, I would say get your hands in multiple pots. That's just like the
so
one thing
good.
that like
Cool.
I keep doing is if you put all your eggs in a basket and if somebody fucking steps on that basket, you're fucked, right? Like you literally, what do you have left, right? You got to start over. So having your hands in like
great advice.
like a lot of things and outside of magic, mind you, if you like drawing, if you like music, whatever, just plant seeds here and there and watch them sprout, and then one thing might blow up, and then you can focus here and then still play over here. But the point is, you're never going to be screwed ever again. You'll never ever be out of the job, right? If you're just doing a lot of things. And for me, the goal in my life is to make money while I sleep. So I want to wake up and have money in my account. So it's true. Whatever way you can find
Good.
out, whether it's
Good
through
plan.
merchandising, royalty revenue, or anything like that, if you can make that happen and literally make money by doing nothing, like figure that out, like because that's an actual option
Especially
in
in this
today's
day and
day and
age.
age. Yeah,
Yeah.
For
it's
sure.
a valid, viable option. You don't have to work 70 hours a week at a plant to make money. So.
All right.
Well, I was just saying, a lot of
Didn't
people.
he go first?
No, but he was all like, I want to say something.
That
love
made
what
me
you're
think of
saying.
something.
No, I did because.
Put your hands in multiple pots.
Yeah, I just want to say, put your hands in multiple pots, and I want to make money when I sleep, and now we can end it.
good.
No, but
Don't be afraid to try new things.
Yeah.
And
you guys are ruining everything. No,
Ben Train. Okay, sorry.
Chris, me, okay, and Alex, you're not leaving tonight. You leave tomorrow. Okay. No, my buddy, his podcast blew up recently, and
Thanks, please.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Settle it.
I didn't know we were
sorry,
buddy.
but no, it did, and not you guys. But he was still asking me questions about YouTube, and I'm like, yo, man, you've tried it all. Your podcast's blowing up, so like Chris said, try everything, but whatever does take off, don't keep looking over the fence, being like the grass is greener. Fuck that. When something of yours is taking off, ring that bell as hard and as long as you can. That's something I didn't do right away when my YouTube took crazy momentum. I kind of didn't really jump on it. And I will get back on that train now, but I could have pounced on it. And his podcast is like in this comedy world on iTunes, and I'm like, well, don't look at me for YouTube, man. Go at that podcast hard. And that's what you're saying at the beginning. Try everything, but when you find something like you found YouTube,
Let it happen.
hard.
Make it happen.
And don't be like, oh, I wonder how Facebook's. Fuck that, man. Do your thing.
Yeah.
And go at it.
Yeah.
I just want to make sure I hit that part.
That's
So-
for sure going to use that clip in your for sure.
That's it. I'm filming a documentary right now, so that's
Cold time cut that
That's a
shit.
keyword. That's a
going
keyword.
in.
That's a keyword.
Worth coming to Toronto.
So one of the things that we do at the end of the episode is we look back on all of the fun, awesome stuff that we talked about, and we say, "Fuck that!" No. We look back on all the fun stuff that we talk about, and we try to distill something so that people that listen, who knows, they might forget it. So what's something from the conversation? Doesn't need to be something that you said. It could be like you said, Eric, if you're enticed by what Chris is saying or vice versa or whatever, there's something, a real nugget out of this conversation that you'd like to share, what would it be? I'll start. So
What was the question?
I'll start. So for me, I really, really like the idea of getting your hands in multiple pots. I think that especially as magicians, people get very, nearsighted. They decide to do only one thing, and then there's a lot of people doing it. And you have to try a lot of things. And I'm very excited to be able to do magic for non-magicians, have this podcast where I can produce content for magicians. And it really helps for me be able to tell the difference between what magicians like and what non-magicians like. And I wouldn't know that if I wasn't dealing with two completely separate audiences. So that's something that's been really helpful to me, and it's awesome to just have that put into words. Tyler, what about you?
There was a lot. Like he said Chris said some very concise little snippets that I'm going to hold on to. But the number one thing for me, I think, was getting into that creator persona. Like the idea of everywhere you go, seeing something that is possible content. Like everywhere I go, I see a possible magic trick, but I don't think of it as like this could play on the internet.
By the way, like this guy here is like a walking content machine, as well as Wes.
I am.
But like, and I had this conversation with him today. I'm like, you don't understand how golden like these little moments of your life is, because he's just so ballsy and just does stuff all the time. And you guys can vouch for it if you hang out with him. Yeah. It's insane, right? And like, you're a walking vlog. Like, if I could like watch you every day from like, I would totally. But he's not putting it up online, right? So it's like where I'm sitting here trying to scrounge through like half-baked content. Like this guy over here is just like living content gold and just not using it. So you gotta fucking just get on it.
Eric, that was a direct insult.
No. It was a shit sandwich. There was like a compliment and something compliment. It was,
no, you go for it.
We didn't really talk about this, but it all boils down to this: is that how lucky we are to be able to fucking do card tricks or whatever and get like, you put a video on YouTube, oh, I get $1,000, like, and working corporate gigs and working walk around and doing open mics and doing this for money and for like making people happy.
I can't believe we're getting paid for this.
It's crazy. It's crazy. Like,
please,
we're so lucky, and sometimes
please find
it's
us
easy.
on Patreon.
So many times this weekend, Alex Boyed gets no poop. Makes his own loops. So many times at the bar, whenever we're looking at each other like, fuck, we're so lucky. We're so lucky to do this. And, forget getting paid for it. Just like marking, I know marking's not the right word, you're going to make fun of me, fuck you. But like affecting somebody's life. Like sometimes, like I take it for granted. Like I met Chris before, I was like, okay, I'll do magic. Like I was like, nah, I'm good. At parties, my friends were like, no, it's okay. Even though I have new shit, I'm like, it's not me. Till him and I went out in a bar in California. He's like, no, man, fuck it, let's go. I'm like, no, it's fucking awkward. So, fuck you, come here. Pa, 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 pa. And seeing the people, and I know it's so cliche to say, like, it really like affects. It does, man. Most people die without ever seeing magic in front of them. That's crazy. Yeah. Think about how much you love magic and you love seeing like, oh my god, should I do this again or no? But just like that feeling, we have that power. 30 seconds. Yesterday, Alex, was at the bar, and he was just like, you have the bill like this in the loop, and it's just at the $50. I'm like, I can go to anybody in that bar and be like, and they're like, done. They'll remember that. Like, so it's thinking about what's the right content, what's the right brand, toning it down a bit and say like, we're so lucky to be able to, like live in this world. Like we make money with a deck of cards. Are you fucking kidding me?
Card trick. Yeah.
So
stupid ass card tricks.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's wild. So je suis très reconnaissant.
I don't know what that means. And what about you, Chris?
Like what did I learn?
No, from this conversation, anything
Anything
particularly valuable.
It doesn't have to be.
It could be something you said if these people are useless.
You can quote yourself and be like, "I was fucking great."
Yeah, quote yourself.
Please. Fucking lit.
Yeah.
No.
That was a dab for everyone at home.
Yeah, sort of. I think a lot on what Eric touched on as well. It's like you have to sort of stop and smell the roses. I think if you're, like we are here. This is cool. We get to talk about our passion to people who love hearing us talk about our passion. And that's fucked up in itself, right? Like how better does life get? Like when, you know what I mean? So. I mean,
we just made your life.
Yeah, 100%.
Us too.
You're welcome.
No matter what level you are, though.
Yeah,
you can be a 12-year-old.
Yeah.
Develops the skill. Be like, like that's something. That's crazy.
Was that a higher pitch now for the 12-year-old?
Oh my god!
All of his friends.
I'm an excited child.
Yeah, I think no, but like,
Good luck.
I think all in all, what's really cool, what I got away from this, was really cool, is that we are like 3 different people on 3 different sort of platforms, all within the same sort of industry, and it's just super interesting to see all these branches that have recently been created within Magic, because before then these things, podcasts and whatever it is, whether it's like like TV or YouTube, like never existed. So we're branching out and creating these new platforms to share Magic on, whether whatever it is, and I think that's pretty fucking cool. So
you got a pretty
Wes,
hard
you're up,
situation here.
buddy.
They said some good stuff.
Oh yeah,
do you want to make
what I say doesn't negate what they said, so it doesn't matter.
Do you want to make
That's
it harder
racist.
for yourself?
Why?
Before we did this, I asked you if you like spicy food.
Yeah.
Do you want to eat something insanely spicy and try to answer the question as the
yeah.
last part of the bid?
Oh,
You're
that's
stunned.
so
You got
good.
something? Oh, I got something
You know
for
what's
you to
crazy?
eat.
This talks about social
He has
media.
something
None of us
spicy in his
know
pocket.
anything.
What do you have? He asked
These
me this earlier. He said,
are, these are
you like
aged,
spicy food?
dried ghost peppers.
Motherfucker. Okay.
hey, hold on, can you repeat that? What do we have?
These are aged, dried ghost peppers. I brought them to Magic Camp a
podcast
few years
right now,
ago.
and we have ghost peppers, which Wes Barker.
There is 4 cameras and 6 microphones.
I said Wes Barker.
You're doing it. You're doing it, Wesley.
Yeah, I will do this. And
Do you want to do
I'll
your
hate
speech
myself.
before though?
I'll hate myself.
Do not. Okay, I'm serious about this.
not touch your eye.
Do not touch your. Don't touch your face.
Wait, repeat that. Wait, Tyler.
Your fingertips might burn from picking this up.
I'm so excited. I'm so excited.
Here, I'll give you a big piece.
Take your mic,
Right,
so you can-
here, take a.
Give me
take
the
a-
medium piece.
You got
And
2.
then can I answer the question after this?
Yeah.
Immediately after.
I actually have really good insight here.
Perfect.
but
It'll be
apparently-
more fun.
There you go. The one that's closest to you.
That's a big
That's
fucking piece.
yeah, that's how you gotta do it.
No, come on.
Remember when you liked
Yeah,
spicy
that's
food?
You like spicy food, Wes?
No one likes-
Come on.
No one likes fucking devil shit.
Pick one.
Fuck, they're the same. God, so I just eat it?
You just eat it. You chew it up, chew and swallow, bud.
Do it. Oh my, you're gonna die. I'm not kissing you tonight.
Okay,
So I need some advice. Help us
Yeah,
out.
help us out.
What was valuable from this
what
episode?
Eric said about be your brand, to the point where like to really emphasize that point is if you are someone who does another brand and I know my brand, and we were going to do walk around magic, in the same group. You could probably take your 3 favorite tricks that you want to do and do those tricks and you could give me 3 terrible fucking tricks and I'll go do those tricks and it would be
You're handling this well, buddy.
yeah, I'm not. But like someone who knows their brand will take you can give them your 3 least favorite tricks and they're going to fuck and they're going to actually still crush it. Even if you're even up against you doing your 3 favorite tricks just because they know. Do you want to make out? Can you have that? Right?
Oh, you gotta drink.
This is fucked. Anyways, I'm just saying, if you know your brand, you can literally do worse magic almost, and still get away with it just because of what you said. Like I give you a shitty trick like I did many times on TV, and you would still pull it off only because you know you. If I give that to someone, even if they're the most skilled person in the world, but they don't know exactly their persona. Oh, fuck me. Then they're not going to.
You're faking it.
No, you can't drink. That's my beer.
Okay.
No.
Okay. He's
Makes
not
it worse.
faking it.
Yeah.
He's not faking
Makes it worse.
I ate one of these and my
Try
feet
one, man.
hurt.
If you think this is
My
not
legit-
real,
my
you
feet
give her.
legitimately
You go
hurt.
for it. You can go for it. Anyways, I'm done talking. That's fine.
So the last and final thing that we do on the episode is there are right now hundreds of thousands of people in the audience, but millions of people at home. So you got millions of magicians listening, which it rarely happens for you guys. You
For
guys
sure,
rarely.
Rick Lax listened all the way to
hit-
the end to see if we're going to mention him again.
Yeah. So millions of.
Somebody got a file on it.
He's got a file. Yeah.
We're kicked off of
Yeah,
Facebook.
we're done. So millions of magicians listening to you right now, what is your nugget of information for them? Whether it's positive words or negative words.
Did we just do that?
Okay, good point. So there you guys go. That was.
He's got a plane to catch.
This kid's got a plane to catch. I do actually.
No problem. We'll do one more legitimate thing. Where can people find you? We've spoken all about social media, stuff like that. Where do people find you on the World Wide Web? You can start.
You're a champ.
Yeah, my channel is Disturb Reality, Jarek120.
I'm ghostpeppers.com.
That's good. You can call me up. Call me up if you want. Or
Tinder.
Grindr.
Tinder. Grinder. Bumble.
Everyone's got jokes by you.
Well, there you guys go. Thank you guys so much for coming out.
Hope you guys have fun.
Live. I hope you guys had a good time. We had an absolute blast. One more time for the three of these guys on
Chris
stage.
Ramsay,
Give them
Eric
out.
Leclerc, Wes
Give them
Parker.
out. Come on now.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you guys so much.